plays, we invite you to just relax, close your eyes, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Ganganapataye namo namaha. Ganganapataye namo namaha. Ganganapataye namo namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Ganganapataye namo namaha. 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 Omekadantaya Vidmahi Vakrajandaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Ganganapataye namo namaha. 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 Ganganapataye, Ganganapataye namo namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananatha Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari. Ganganapataye namo namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Daya Niti Sakala Vigna Karadura Hamari.
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a fancy Sanskrit word that means community of truth. Wherever there are two or more people on the path of seeking and realizing the truth, of awakening, the flowering of the heart in oneness with the divine, you've got a satsang. We could just call it a spiritual community, but satsang sounds cooler. Also, it's a well-known item that is an important part of our spiritual growth, to be part of a community of people who are experiencing the same process of awakening and transformation that we are. And hopefully you find one locally, or you start one. But you can always join us on Monday nights. And we're always sharing the Flowering Heart Blessing, which is a direct transmission of divine grace, awakened consciousness, love, and light that catalyzes awakening and the flowering of the heart in the receiver. Another nice thing about it is that it doesn't cost anything, and you're initiated to share it with others the minute you've received it. And guess what? You're soaking in it right now. Even if you're watching the video recording of this satsang a year after we made it, you're still soaking in the blessing and being activated and initiated to share it, because it is a gift of spirit. And spirit is unbounded by time or space. It's always right here, right now. So whenever you're tuning in, you're getting the same thing all of us are. So please join us in sharing the Flowering Heart Blessing with all the participants that are with us tonight, and those that will ever view this video or listen to the audio of it at any time in the future. And just hold that intention. Invite the divine to pour the blessing through you. I think the only announcement we have is that this is our 17th wedding anniversary. Yeah, isn't that cool? We've been together 19 years, or 19 million lifetimes, I'm not sure. But 19 years this time around, and married 17 of those. And today is our actual anniversary. I've got some really cool stuff I want to share with you. So let me begin with, but remember to write your questions. Saw yours, Laura. We'll come back to that, and certainly we'll offer prayers. But ask inside if there's a question you might ask to help yourself get clarity and insight about some aspect of the spiritual path that you may have been puzzling over. Maybe you could just use a little more clarity, a little more light. It helps everyone. And you can type it there in Facebook Live, or if you're watching on Vimeo, I'll be checking in there as well. Also, give us a like or a love, please. There are other options, but we especially like the thumbs up and the heart. And we go in after the webcast is over, and I go in every day between tonight and next Monday, and I look to see who's dropping in and watching, and we send special love and hugs and blessings to you. I sometimes share emails that I get from a spiritual teacher by the name of Matt Kahn. He's a very beautiful being, and very heart-centered, and the one that I got this morning really stood out to me. So I'm just going to read it to you. Hello, beloved friend. If you can see the bravery it takes to be open, heart-centered, and rooted in love throughout a world engulfed in fear, steeped in pain, and overwhelmed by trauma, you're beginning to remember why you came to help. It is a depth of help that doesn't always require your choice to be helpful, but the natural state of your energy field to radiate frequencies of light in all directions. Whether you're aware of it or not, The camera just went out and came back on. Don't know why it's doing that. Can't figure it out. Whether you're aware of it or not, no matter how much progress you do or don't see, please always know the worst case scenario is what would happen to this planet without your light shining within it. Such words do not just speak to the divinity within you, but equally honors the personal self, whose living presence always positively impacts more than what the eyes can see. While you may or may not yet have the inner worth or self-esteem to honor such a truth, it doesn't stop this truth from working through you for the benefit of all, from one moment to the next. As the unconscious patterns running the world continue to unravel, it is your light that furthers the expansion of new realities, where your personal mission is learning to care for your own needs as immaculately as your energy field serves the awakening of all. This is the heart of ascension. Thank you for the light you shine. From our hearts to yours, we see you. We love you. We are you. Live brightly. Matt and Joy. That was a lovely one. Thank you, Matt and Joy. I have for some time been sharing quotes from a website called inspiringquotes.com, where a group of authors writes very brief articles about timely subjects and then shares quotes from influential or illuminated people throughout time. Okay.
We're back.
No. We'll try to figure that camera thing out. It must be a gifted meeting tonight, because
Right.
that stuff usually happens when there's a
Electronic.
transmission.
Electronic anomalies.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight I'm going to read an article called, on our anniversary, 24 Quotes About Marriage. This was compiled by Julia Travers. Julia is a writer, artist, and teacher. And here's what she has to say. Marriage is an enduring and evolving tradition, and one that each married couple redefines for themselves. While matrimony takes different forms around the globe, it remains one of the most significant personal milestones and universally honored cultural practices in the world. And slowly but surely, marriage is becoming more inclusive. There are currently 29 countries where same-sex marriage is legal. Every day, engaged couples recite their vows and become newlyweds, establishing a commitment to one another that they hope will deepen and grow throughout the years. Many philosophers and writers throughout history have tried to describe this courageous and loving practice of pairing up for life. Some have compared marriage to a ship at sea or a garden passing through the seasons. Passion, friendship, laughter, and the ability to maintain both closeness and individuality are often cited as some of the most important components of a lasting union. Here are 24 quotes that speak to the love and appreciation that underlie and uplift marriage. Here we go. A successful marriage requires falling in love many times, always with the same person. Mignon McLaughlin. We have become as one deeply rooted in the soil of life and tangled in the sweet growth. J.R.R. Tolkien. However important it is that love shall precede marriage, it is far more important that it shall continue after marriage. Samson Raphael Hirsch. Marriage is the fullness of time. Soren Kierkegaard. So close that your hand upon my chest is mine. So close that your eyes close with my dreams. Pablo Neruda. To have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish till death do us part. The Book of Common Prayer, Solemnization of Matrimony. May this marriage offer fruit and shade, like the date palm. May this marriage be full of laughter, our every day a day in paradise. I am out of words to describe how spirit mingles in this marriage. Rumi.
It'd be a nice toast
Indeed.
at a wedding. Remember that one.
I hold this to be the highest task of a bond between two people, that each should stand guard over the solitude of the other. For if it lies in the nature of indifference and of the crowd to recognize no solitude, then love and friendship are there for the purpose of continually providing the opportunity for solitude. Rainer Maria Rilke. She's talking to me with her voice, down so low I barely hear her. But I know what she's saying. I understand because my heart and hers are the same. And in January, we're getting married. The Abbott brothers. Give your hearts, but not into each other's keeping. For only the hand of life can contain your hearts. And stand together, yet not too near together. For the pillars of the temple stand apart, and the oak tree and the cypress grow not in each other's shadow. Khalil Gibran. Here's the advice I give everyone about marriage. Is she someone you find interesting? Does she make you laugh? And I don't know if you want kids, but if you do you think she will be a good mom? Life is long. These are the things that really matter over the long term. Barack Obama. Can I picture us in old age, conquering the world like we've got young blood running in our veins? Rupi Kaur. What is called for is an ability on the part of the couple to see each other, to constantly apprehend the essence of the other. David White. You are a language I have learned by heart. Dana Gloria Poet. When marrying, ask yourself this question. Do you believe that you will be able to converse well with this person into your old age? Everything else in marriage is transitory. Friedrich Nietzsche. Happy and thrice happy are they who enjoy an uninterrupted union, and whose love, unbroken by any complaints, shall not dissolve until the last day. Horace. To be fully seen by somebody, then, and be loved anyhow. This is a human offering that can border on miraculous. Elizabeth Gilbert. What greater thing is there for two human souls than to feel they are joined for life, to strengthen each other in all labor, to rest on each other in all sorrow? George Eliot. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? The Beatles. Makes you want to sing that.
Mm-hmm.
Will you still need me? Okay, never mind. There is no more lovely, friendly, and charming relationship, communion or company, than a good marriage. Martin Luther. A happy marriage is a long conversation which always seems too short. Andre Moroy. The secret of a happy marriage is finding the right person. You know they're right if you love to be with them all the time. Julia Child. What counts in making a happy marriage is not so much how compatible you are, but how you deal with incompatibility. Leo Tolstoy. Marriage is a risk. I think it's a great and glorious risk, as long as you embark on the adventure in the same spirit. Kate Blanchett. And I'm throwing in an extra that for those of you that may be seeking a partner, maybe seeking that relationship that we've just been hearing quotes about how special it is, this is from Rumi, a great mystic, lover, and poet, and it's how we find true love in our lives. Here it is. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. I particularly like that and use it a lot in weddings. All right, let's see what you're asking. Laura says, please send protective prayers for my son who is in the streets, struggling with addiction. His name is Ben. And we've prayed for him before, and we will continue tonight. And Laura writes, congratulations. Well, thank you. And then, how can one honor intuition of knowing with my connection with my personal divine? Spend more time alone in prayer, so I trust my deeper knowing. Let's see if I'm hearing this right. How can one honor intuition of knowing with my connection with my personal divine? Spend more time alone in prayer, so I trust my deeper knowing? Well, that's a big ingredient. And this came up last week. You might actually want to listen if you didn't tune in last week. More people have watched that last Monday than any satsang we've done in a long time. I was really surprised. And a central question was, how can I know God's will? How can I know that my intuition...
And that my desires are in alignment with God's will.
And intuition came in and all of that. And one of the answers was to spend more time alone in prayer, because what we're talking about is communication. And in order to develop the ability to communicate and to know that your intuition is correct of what your partner, in this case the divine, is getting across to you, you have to spend time communicating. And it's been said, and I think it's very true, that God's original language is silence. God speaks to us in silence, which is one of the reasons that great mystics seek to silence the internal dialogue, to silence thoughts, to enter interior silence and an inner peace so that the input of your divine lover is so easily felt because there are no distractions. And the more time you spend with your divine beloved, the more in tune you will be. Like I mentioned last week to a married couple. In the beginning, they talk a lot because they need to get to know each other. They have stories to tell and stories to hear. The Divine's got stories for you to hear. It's some are whispered to your heart, but others are written in the great sacred writings of the great traditions, whether it's Bhagavad Gita, Dhammapada, the Bible, the Tao Te Ching. There's so many. I have a particular fondness for several of those. And so we get to know the way that our beloved speaks by hearing those stories. And we tell our stories. And that's how a human relationship begins. We get to know each other, and we may end up becoming in love. And as spending time in the presence of the other and hearing those stories deepens, the fire of love is ignited in our hearts. And out of that come the displays of affection, of passion, of love, of eros, and the romantic climax in a relationship. And on the other end of that, what is there? There is afterglow, silence. Just being in the presence of your beloved. And after two people have spent so many years sharing their stories and sharing their emotions and sharing their adventures together, you can see that old couple on a cabin on a mountainside in the woods in their chairs next to each other, looking out at the beauty of the forest and the sunset and not saying a single word because they're so in tune with each other that they know what the other is thinking without a word spoken. And that is the kind of relationship that we're invited to with the divine. But it starts with hearing the stories, hearing about the miracles, hearing about the divine stories, and telling our stories and pouring out our hearts to the divine. And getting to that point where it's just, we just love each other so much. And then letting go into the inner peace and inner silence of contemplative, meditative prayer. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and when you're building that relationship with the divine, express gratitude whenever your intuition is correct and whenever just acknowledge it. Like when I'm out running errands during the day or just interacting with people, I'm constantly expressing gratitude for any little thing that seems like a coincidence, but I know that it somehow was happening because of something higher than myself. And so by acknowledging that, you're strengthening that connection, you're strengthening that intuition because you're paying attention to it. So many times miracles are happening all around us and we have no clue, and we don't acknowledge it or we just take it for granted. So the more that we start, really focusing on that and saying, wow, thank you. I really appreciate that this went this way today. And thank you, I decided to take that left instead of a right, and I avoided, problems or construction or something like that. So just those little tiny things become bigger and bigger and bigger. But when we start to have that relationship with the divine and meditate more on it, it can be carried outward in your day-to-day activities where you're starting to notice the hand of the divine tapping into your intuition to guide you.
And which comes back to your original question, how can I deepen that intuitive connection so I trust my deeper knowing with the divine? And as that begins to happen, what Suzanne said, you'll start to see the hand of the divine in that parking place you needed when you were in such a hurry, and just in such little serendipitous ways, the divine reaches out and touches our lives and gives us Just these little touches. Like, that's a way of saying, you're on the right track.
Right.
I'm here for you. and when you do what Suzanne said and you express gratitude, then those incidences of divine touch and intervention become more frequent and more powerful. And did you mention sharing it with others?
No.
See, that's part of it too. Noticing it is the beginning, just noticing these little things, which you might call a coincidence. Someone else might call it a stroke of luck. No such thing. That's divine grace. And you express gratitude. The other thing that we can, and I believe we ought to do, is we ought to share with others what we're seeing the divine doing. The divine loves that. One of the reasons that we get miracles is so we will share it with others and it will open their hearts for the same kind of things to happen in their lives.
I think another element of it too is because we are so caught up in our minds and our busy schedules and our day-to-day life that these miracles are actually happening around us all the time, and as we start to look for them or notice them or be more aware of them, like I said before, they begin, and Michael, that they begin to increase in frequency. And I don't know if it's so much that they increase in frequency, it's just that we're noticing it. Because miracles are happening everywhere all the time.
Every instant is a miracle.
Every breath we take is a miracle. So that also encourages, our awareness of intuition and the hand of the divine in our lives. And the more that we start to pay attention to it, like Michael said, the more it will happen. But actually, it's been happening anyway. We just haven't been paying attention.
Exactly.
There's so many amazing things that are happening all the time that we just don't even notice because we're looking at a text or we're thinking about what we have to do 10 minutes from now or what we did 10 minutes ago, or we're so caught up in that we're not really focused on, wow, I just got 7 green lights in a row. It's just the silliest little things. And then you start seeing it in relationships. So that person who's usually not nice to me just did something really kind. And, you're starting to see the hand of the divine in everything in our lives.
So, many of you know of Baba Ram Dass, who wrote a book that back in the 1960s that most of us call Be Here Now, which really began to bring the teachings of India to the hippie generation that were all psychedelicized, and he began to show the path to divine union. And actually, a friend of ours pointed out just a few years ago, the title of that book actually wasn't Be Here Now. The title was Remember, Be Here Now. It's like a mantra, remember, be here now. Remember. So when we slipped out of that attentiveness, that mindfulness of the present moment, remember, be here now. It's a great
spiritual. I still have that book. I think I only made it halfway through. I should pull that out again.
Yeah, we got it up there.
Skim through it. Yeah.
It used to originally cost $3.33 for many years. It was numerology. Great book, great artwork. Amazing guru, Ram Dass's guru, Neem Karoli Baba, Shri Shri 1008. Amazing, enlightened saint. Okay, so Laura went on to write, in response to some of what we were saying about listening to the silence and all of that, I've not listened to it and trouble. That makes me want to cry because grief of lost time with that beauty of silence.
Aww.
Oops, we forget so often.
Yeah.
Remember. And then she writes, hearts on fire with divine love. Thank you for acknowledging, yes, thank you. Sharing miracles is very important. And then last comment, nice, remember. Yeah, nice exchange.
I find I get more stuff done efficiently and easily when I'm not in my mind. If I just let things unfold. I was getting ready to make coffee a couple days ago, and Michael said, what's on the list for today? I'm like, So far, nothing. I mean, I knew I had things to do, but I couldn't remember them. I was just thoroughly enjoying my coffee and checking my emails and looking around at nature. We were sitting outside. Anyway, after I had some coffee and I had to enjoy my morning, then I looked around, and then all of a sudden, what pops into my head? Oh, I need to do this today. Oh yeah, I was going to do that today. Oh yeah, then there's that. And it's like I didn't have to have a list. I didn't have to say at this time or that time. I mean, sometimes we have appointments that we have to make, but it's really great to the way that I've been able to like just switch into going with the divine flow of things. It makes me so much more present if something comes up in the moment, a phone call, somebody asking for prayers, somebody that needs, you know, some kind of counseling, or they're sad, or they want to share something really happy. I've got that space to do it, but I can easily get the other stuff done that I need to because I'm not thinking about it, I'm not mulling it over, I'm not questioning myself back and forth, should I do it this way, should I do it that way? It's all being, not all of it, I'm still a work in progress, but it's coming from the heart and the divine will and what I need to pay attention to. So it's a lot less effort and things get done much more easily.
So, any other, Laura writes, does it help in marriage that which one has a spiritual, does it help in marriage that one has a spiritual practice to stay grounded? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that one of them has.
No, I wasn't. No, that one has. That one of them has. We've both got our spiritual practices. I think that
I've just taken mine more on the road.
there are different approaches to marriage, but one that is my view is that in coming together and joining our lives in love, we're inviting God to be at the center, not just of our own personal lives, but at the center of our union. I mean, God is love. And when the divine is invited to be in the center of a marriage relationship, it changes things dramatically. In the sacramental Christian churches, it's holy matrimony is called a sacrament, a sign of God's grace that God indwells and expresses through. So, highly recommend it. Spiritual practice helps us to stay grounded, of course, whether we're married or unmarried. Does it help in life that one has a spiritual practice to stay grounded? Yep. Any other questions before we move on?
Well, it's also not just to help you stay grounded, it's also to help you grow and help you to see the inner stuff that you need to have brought into the light so that we can move through those, the charges and the programs, and paying attention to our emotions and our reactions to things. So it's, there's a lot of multi-levels and purposes for doing spiritual practices.
Yeah, I mean, like conscious breathing in Zen or Taoist practice is famous for helping you stay grounded in the present moment. But honestly, most of us do spiritual practices to get off the ground. We want to fly, So that's in India. I used to kept talking about the importance of grounding. I'd say you're taking all these Westerners and putting them through these processes where they're just flying. And I said, and here in India you make them lie in Shavasana, which we invite you to do at the end of these webcasts, where you lie on your back with your eyes closed, your arms at your sides, with your hands open, turned upward, and just dissolve in the presence. That grounds the Kundalini and the spiritual energy that's moving through you. And I said, what you guys don't understand, the monks and gals, they're both, is that the Westerners are largely not doing that at this time. They're doing all this great breathing and mantric stuff to get really expanded, and they're not spending 20 or 30 minutes lying Shavasana, and they get pretty ungrounded. And they'd say, Michael, you make way too much about grounding. We don't think it's so important. We want you to begin to vibrate and shake and explode out the top of your head into the universe. And I went, yeah, and then what? So.
Where do you go from there? We still have to be on this body.
Yep. Okay. Well, shall we move along?
Thank you. Great questions.
Yeah, great dialogue. So you could close your eyes and invoke the presence, the divine source who dwells within you in all of its fullness. The divine presence is the very center of your essence, and it is present in every layer of your being. The divine presence is fully manifest and present everywhere all the time. There's a special connection within you through your spiritual heart. The divine wants to free you from the illusion of distance and separation and draw you into the deepest union with itself. So let the divine tonight draw you into the very center. Just give yourself to the embrace of this being who is pure, unconditional love, who is all-knowing and loves you anyway, who is all-powerful, able to do anything. It yearns to free you from suffering and fill you with peace and joy and love and light. So receive the flowering heart blessing that is pouring out to It will fill your heart with light and peace and joy and love, and shine out of your heart through the mental and emotional layers of your being, healing them and clearing them and filling your soul with divinely inspired ideas and plans and feelings. And will shine out through the physical layer of your being, giving you strength and health and healing. Just keep drinking it in, receiving the grace. It's pouring out to you now. Imagine that we're sitting in a circle together, a blessing circle. Keep your eyes closed, but lift up your hands with your palms open. Turn forward. We invite the divine presence to pour the flowering heart blessing through all of us, through each of us. Pour the blessing through us to all the others in the circle as it's flowing back to us through them. I want you to visualize Ben in the center of our circle. With our hands lifted up, we call upon the divine presence and take a strong intention for him to be flooded with divine light and grace and healing love. To dissolve the patterns of addiction and to open new pathways within his being for the light of life to flow to him, in him, through him, healing him and setting him free from all addiction. Put Ben in the hands of the divine. Keep him, protect him. Pour into his life everything he needs to be free, full of life and joy. People into his life to help guide him. Now imagine the earth in the middle of this circle. And let us ask the divine to pour out the flowering heart blessing in every human heart on planet Earth, to cause the hearts to flower with divine love, in oneness with the divine and with each other and with all that exists. May all fear and all anger and hatred melt away from the hearts of all human beings on earth. And tonight we take a special intention for all of the committed couples, married couples, others that are committed to their union in love, to flood these relationships with light, grace, peace, and love, and shine through the lives of these committed lovers to bless and to touch all of humanity around them. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now when you're ready, open your eyes and begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me. As we dive into the light meditation, Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans of grace, and peace, and love, and light. Shines through every part of our being to you, especially through our eyes, the windows of the soul. Just keep looking at least one of our eyes, the into your eyes, into your heart of hearts, causing the light of awakening, the fires of divine love and union to burn brighter and brighter within you. There's nothing for you to do but keep looking and receive. Meditate with us a few more minutes as the grace settles within. Meditating as long as it feels nice to you. Also, you could lie down in Shavasana, as we spoke of before. Find a comfortable place nearby to lie on your back. Close your eyes, let your arms be loosely at your sides, with your palms open, turned upward. And just dissolve with gratitude in your presence.
That's love life.
We love you very much. Until we meet again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine within you, and we bow to you.
Namaste.